the Black Jag, Carlos Ulberg, is looking to really put city kickboxing back in prominence, back in the spotlight. Realistically, though, man, this is a tough matchup. Dominick Reyes is just off and on, man, off and on. But you see, if there's one thing that's consistent, is the touch of death is there at all times for both of these fighters, really. But I would say more for Dominick Reyes. Now, when I think of Carlos Ulberg, I'm not like the most impressed. Yeah, you rattle off. Look at that win streak, right? Like massive. But I'm not the most impressed in the sense of like, there's been a couple of those fights where it's like you don't look like you're the guy. You know what I mean? You look chiseled like you're an Abercrombie model or whatever. But like, do you look like the guy when it comes down to the skill set? Because a lot of it is cruising to these decisions. Now, don't get me wrong. That's really the last two matchups. But once the opposition stepped up, Volkan Ozdemir, Jan Blachowicz, now we're cruising to some kind of like boring-ish decisions. Dominick Reyes, you know it's going to be an exciting fight, win, lose, or draw. You know, no matter how it goes, someone's probably going to get knocked out, which he has not seen the cards since John Jones, since the fight that everyone argues that he won, but he lost. He got robbed, whatever the case may be. All right, man, talk to the people. Minus 265 is the Black Jag, plus 200 comeback for Dominick Reyes. How you feel about the line?
I like the line, Derek. I like the line. A lot of people aren't giving Dominick Reyes respect, and they haven't been, right? Since he dropped the arguable robbery to John Jones, and then the next three fights after that, a lot of people have been looking at Dominick Reyes sideways. Even with his impressive last three fights, man, a lot of people still think he was a has-been or a never was. So I think that's what goes into a lot of the plus 200 we're seeing out here for Dominick Reyes. But man, he's nothing to sleep on. I was the whole time you're thinking, I was trying to remember the saying, right? Like it's precision beats power and timing beats speed. Dominick Reyes has this, I don't want to say awkward timing, but it's offbeat, right? And that's one of the reasons he's still able to carry that knockout power into the career he has, especially at 35 and with all the fights on his record. He hits you when you're not ready for it, right? Like you're so used to sparring, you're so used to timing that things work, and you know when things are going to be coming at you. Dominick Reyes is just like a half second before or a half second after that, and that's when he's able to tag you up. And that's one of the interesting things, because when you were talking about Carlos Ulberg and him cruising to those decisions, he's only able to do that because he's very, very technical. Very gifted, very skilled, and able to play that technical game. Well, you do that with Dominick Reyes, now your technique is off half a second, you're going to sleep. That's the kind of fight that he provides right here, man. This is an interesting one, because I agree with the odds, but I can see where Dominick Reyes should be a lot closer, if not even money. Like this is a very, very close fight right here.
This just makes me wonder, can Dominick Reyes, and this is a completely different type of style right here, but can he play the Sean Strickland role? And what I mean by that is, I think with Carlos Ulberg, it's very similar to Israel Adesanya, where it's like a balance thing, man. When you got a guy pressuring you too much, they just go off balanced, right? And now everything, because I don't think that they really practice fundamental boxing there. It's not dips and weaves and ducks and pulls. It's just a lot of just like lean backs, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, right? So I think if Dominick Reyes can go ahead and create chaos, there's a much better chance than if he tries to make this really technical fight, because he's got the big rear hand and the head kick. That's Dominick Reyes special right there. Ulberg, he's going to check left hook 1 trillion times in this fight. Calf kick, feint, and go, right? Like that's going to be the matchup in essence. I don't see any wrestling coming out of Dominick Reyes necessarily. I just wonder whose leg is getting chewed up, right? Because I think Ulberg is going to work those legs, and he's going to try to take away that mobility of Dom Reyes and then just point his way to a victory. I would love to see a knockout, and I really do think the way Reyes is aggressive, we can see a knockout here, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, oh, another Carlos Ulberg decision. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't be surprised by it, Derek. I had the same notes, man. Carlos Ulberg got to use that step off left hand, man. Beautiful counter right there, and he used it against everybody. So we're going to be seeing that shot, right? Work the combos, work the low kicks. That's the way to cruise his victory. And I can see a knockout happening for either, man. But if you're Dominick Reyes, man, the best thing to do is let Carlos Ulberg think he has that timing and then use that aggression. Hopefully he doesn't use it against you, but use that aggression to close the distance and really start to work. I don't know about a takedown, but I can see Dominick Reyes controlling Carlos Ulberg against the fence, just pushing him up there and working that, maybe not just the dirty boxing, but some pressure more than anything else, just to really put something against a young kid. Although honestly, Derek, I like Carlos Ulberg. I like his odds on this fight. 7 times out of 10 right here. I think he's going to do well. It's just, can he show that he's better than the average Joe out there against Dominick Reyes?
Yeah, man, I like Ulberg. So let's let the cat out the bag right here. Ulberg is the pick, 100%. Now, when it comes down to betting, I don't know how you feel about this. This is my personal take. I think it's a little too steep to bet Carlos Ulberg just at like pure money line value right here. I would wait until you get some live numbers. Let's see how Dominick Reyes comes out. And if it shrinks below minus 220, maybe minus 200 or lower, we're all in. We're live betting all day long. But for this number right here, I think it's a good pick right here. Maybe throw it in a parlay to juice it up a bit, but I think Carlos Ulberg is the play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think Carlos Ulberg play. I think it's too steep at his money line, Derek, but there's a minus 125 KO prop for Carlos Ulberg on FanDuel. Are you even considering sniffing that, or are you working like the overs and unders right here?
I like the knockout. What I like more is, let me see. No, this will look at the given. Goes the distance, plus 285 for yes, minus 375 for no. That's too steep right there. So yeah, I would consider taking that minus 140 for Ulberg TKO. But then again, just bet it live. And if get them down to minus 200 or so, and you don't have to worry about any of that. You just know you got a high confidence pick right here in Carlos Ulberg. I don't think this is the one. But I think after this fight, depending on if you do get the championship fight or not, or if you have to fight like another number one contender, because you know how it goes. This like theoretically should be a number one contender. But I don't know. I think Carlos Ulberg's days are numbered. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll put some respect. That's the pick for the time being. All right, folks. That is your UFC Perth main card.